41,000 kids and families, 41,000 total, are at Children's Harbor up in Birmingham every year. 41,000. 5,000 kids and their families are on Lake Martin at Children's Harbor. 5,000. There are 46 weeks of different programs for children with challenges. Unbelievable what the people at Children's Harbor does. And I always ask myself, how do you know how important something is? Let's just say Children's Harbor hasn't been here. Let's say there wasn't a place for kids and their families to go to up at the hospital when they're having to stay there for weeks, and you got a child, and they don't know the difference between being in nursery school or not being in nursery school. That child doesn't need to know that they're in a hospital all the time when they can go to Children's Harbor and have fun and play, just like if they were in nursery school out at recess. And obviously, when kids get a chance to go to camp, I remember growing up, and there were 8 weeks in the summertime, and I remember my dad working really, really hard, and I had some friends that would go to 8 weeks of camp, and I got to go for 1 week, and I thought it was unbelievable that my dad could figure out a way to scrape up enough money to give me 1 week of camp, and I never forget that and enjoy that and cherish that. Ain't nothing wrong with me. And you think about, all the kids that get here with their special challenges with other kids and other families, right? To share what it's like to go through when you got a child that's going through burns or hearing or speech impaired or cancer or heart or whatever it is. So there's just no better way of giving back. And of course, we can't do it without all the people that come play in this tournament every single year, and a lot of the same faces. And today we're out at Wicker Point, and this is a treat. This is a real treat to be out at this place.
BP, since we last talked to you, your right-hand man has had a lot to do with this event,
right,
and is moving into a full-time industry role. Can you talk about what Chad has meant to the program?
Well, Chad's we've made history together, Chad Puit and myself and this coaching staff. I always say, if you want to judge me by the people I surround myself with, judge me by my coaching staff. And Chad was a great leader in that, because our program is based on family and faith, and Chad and his family obviously embody that. I've known for a couple years that this was something that was on his heart, and we got our basketball team this year to call God, and God called Chad Puit into the ministry. And it's always been about making a difference in young people's lives. He was a great high school coach, and he's one of my best hires. Hiring a high school coach from Lee Scott to come join our staff, and then Chad just worked his way up and helped us with so many things, development of our program. He's one of the best scouts I had. We'll miss him, but I'm really, really happy for him.
Bruce, just tell me about all the additions you've made in the portal so far in junior college. How do you feel about this group?
I mean, there's no question that we will be the most difficult team in the country to predict where we're going to finish. I mean, there are 16 teams in the SEC. They're not going to put us in the top 5 or 6 for sure. But it'll be interesting to see where they do pick us, because everybody's new. Todd's got a chance to come back, and we'll probably know in about a week's time, maybe 8 or 9 days, about what's going to happen there. And again, he's still in the same position that he's been in the whole time. And that is, if he can get in the first round, he's going to go. And if he can get in the first round, he should go. And if he doesn't feel, if his folks don't feel like he is going to be in there, towards in the 20s somewhere, then he'll come back. And in addition to that, everybody else is new. If he does come back, he's going to have to play an expanded role, which is I know something that is exciting to him, and probably exciting to our fan base too, because we'll get to see more of him, because he'll be a starter, and there'll be more on it, So, but I like the group. I think it's going to be a group that works hard. I think we got really good character guys. And we got to reinvent ourselves. We got to reinvent our culture. This summer is going to be more important to me having breakfast and Bible studies than ever before. Just kind of trying to get these guys to understand who we are and what we do, and why we do it the way we do it, And I don't have Dylan Carlos just be like him, you know, or Denver Jones, Chaney Johnson, Miles Kelly. You know, so many guys on the team. But I like the group we got, and I'm excited they'll all come in on Memorial Day.
I was going to ask you about building the culture. Following up on that, is there something intriguing, exciting about a completely new roster where you sort of really get to form a little bit?
Yeah, I've actually started to recruit a little bit the last few pieces along those lines, going, you know, if you're coming in late and you're worried about coming in late, guess what? You're not late. You may have been one of the last ones to sign up, but everybody's coming and they don't know a single drill. They don't know how I run practices or what we do. And so they'll all be experiencing at the same time. And so they're kind of almost all be like freshmen. And if you think back to your freshman years, if you think back to people who went to college, the guys that you are still friends with 20 years later in life were the guy that you were hanging out with your freshman year. You experienced that together.